Well, we're going to kick things off early. I'm Jason Groth, once again joined by Lance Rock as we get ready for match number 2 of the night. The Minnewaska area Lakers now taking on the Brainerd Pillager Warriors in what should be an exciting contest here. The Brainerd Pillager Warriors coming in with a record of 11-3, getting ready to take on this Minnewaska area team who's now coming in at 9-3.
Yeah, this should be a good one as well. Just gonna look through. Brainerd Pillager Warriors have they've wrestled some tough opponents too. They get into that Central Lakes Conference and they see Wilmers and Bemidji they've seen, and so they'll come in battle tested, and obviously having 14 matches under their belt is they'll be ready to roll.
I'm really looking to see how this Minnewaska team we've touched on in our first broadcast against Perham, how they kind of respond. I know they've faced a lot of tough teams this year. They've rolled in a lot of their matches, just rolled in this one. It'll be interesting to see how they come out here for this one against the Warriors, who come in, like we said, with a very nice record, coming off some very impressive wins last night, knocking off a pair of teams. Of course, I grabbed the wrong schedule, and there it is. They knocked off Aiken 40-22, and then they railed the Proctor Rails by a score of 76-6.
And I think we could start right off tonight, Jason, and at 106 as Easton Dirks, I believe, is going to come out. And this Easton Dirks is a 7th grader and is 12-2 on the season. And Nick Ankeny is showed his toughness and went toe-to-toe with Chandler Mickelson from Perham, who is 11-0 now to start the season, and that was a 1-point match or 2-point match, I believe. So Ankeny is definitely the longer, leaner wrestler here, but Easton Dirks is a tough wrestler when he goes 12-2 on the season, on this young season. So getting a lot of them, and I see where Dirks is right away using maybe the smaller, lower in stature, and is trying for some low singles as we speak. So another one where I think 106 could kind of set the tone again, and as important as those 285 matches are, and we talked about their Minnewaska's 2 hammers at the end, with Tyson Meyer and Jacob Swala, it's just as important to get that good start out there, and Ankeny has done a great job for him in that bout as well. So
it kind of sets a tone a little bit for both teams, but as we saw right after that tough loss that Ankeny had against Chandler Mickelson, they were able to respond quickly with a pair of pins. So this Minnewaska area team is pretty deep. And now we'll get a chance to see where this Brainerd team is at and how they look coming into the season.
Well, I would say once you build into watching the Warriors wrestle, and there's a good single, shot single. We'll see if Dirks can finish this off, but Ankeny kind of uses that length, gets right over the top of him, and kind of shuts that down and makes him bail out of that situation. Now Ankeny getting real physical on top, trying to kind of drag him around, looking for that snap go behind maybe. 10 seconds remaining, so a stalemate there. But looking and watching, I watched a little bit of Brainerd Pillager Warriors last night. You hit that center of the heart of their lineup, and they've got some really tough, strong kids, led by at 145 Gabe Wagner, who's rated 8th in AAA right now. So they have 2-3 wrestlers that are undefeated. Gabe Wagner, who's the rated wrestler at 145, is 13-1. So let's see what the middle of the lineup builds and how close this is going into the end when they get to Meyer and Swala.
And you may hear extra whistles in our background. The JV action is happening to our left. We're focusing here on mat number 1, which is the varsity action between the Minnewaska area Lakers and the Brainerd Pillager Warriors.
Ankeny is in the down position. He does a quick stand up there, and Dirks falls right into a leg and takes him and gets him back to the mat. So impressive mat awareness and feel for Dirks. And then another nice stand up by Ankeny, and he takes the escape and gets the 1-0 lead at 1:15 left in the second period. a good battle here. They're kind of tied up, trying to kind of force their will on each other, and they end up out of bounds. And we'll start over at the middle, and both coaches kind of getting after their wrestler a little bit, going, this is what we want you to do. So we'll see which one wins out and if there's a takedown here. But Ankeny's kind of been in the backup position. Easton Dirks is kind of forcing his way right now, and we'll see. And there, another shot by Dirks, met by a front head by Ankeny, and then Dirks just pushes him out of bounds. So I think both wrestlers know what they want to do. They're confident in what they're going to do, and this is the barn burner that I kind of thought it was going to be. Kind of circling the mat, and we're kind of in that same spot we were before, where Dirk seems to be a little bit the aggressor, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a stall here at some point against Ankeny if he keeps kind of backing his way off the mat. So unless he's setting up something, that shot's going to help. He's in deep on the shot, and this should, what a great sprawl out there by Dirks to not give up the takedown on a nice shot by Ankeny, which probably buys him some time, as he had kind of been backing up and letting Dirks drive the bus, so to speak. There's a nice duck under by Dirks. He's going to try to lift. This is that size and runs out of time. But confidence booster going into the third, I would think, for the 7th grader Dirks, as now he chooses down, which let's see what this length comes into play here, Jason. One nothing score in favor of the Lakers. Nick Ankeny, and he good mat return there. They're kind of getting in the spot that I got to go back to my monitor to see what's happening here. And there is, we're all tied. So here we go, minute 30. Both wrestlers close to the center of the mat, and a takedown here would be huge. So let's see what happens here and what's going to be the deciding factor in a really good 106 match to start this off, which lends me to believe we're going to have another good 106 match when the Warriors face off against the Yellow Jackets in our nightcap tonight.
Oh, I agree completely. And I think this is going to lead into many great matches that we're going to have the rest of the night here tonight.
Exactly. It's about minute 10 remaining here. Wrestlers are tying up. It's kind of who's going to take that one big shot here to put them in the lead. So some snaps there by some snap downs. Ankeny's trying to reach for that leg. Dirks is just kind of backing out of that, but here we go back into it where Dirks is kind of driving him off the mat, and we're going back to center again. So Ankeny's kind of okay with letting him just drive, and you wonder if he's setting up something with the constant pressure that Dirks is putting on him at this time. Dirks trying to get in on an underhook. And there's a quick shot down by Ankeny. Dirks meets him with the front headlock. Definitely he's got the elbow pin. He's going to try to snap around back and get his 2. I thought he had him there, but he's looking for more, and he follows him around, and boy, he's got to have that 2, and there it is. And now looks like he's got the cradle on, and he does have the cradle locked in, and the good thing is there's 10 seconds left, so even if he does nothing with the cradle, now that's broken, but looks like it's going to be a 3-1, maybe 3-2. Let's see. Try to throw there. Did not happen. And you almost have to feel a little bit for Nick Ankeny as he's going down in 2 barn burners tonight, losing to Mickelson and now to Dirks, which again sets us up for another great 106 to start us off in the next one. So come back again and watch the next one.
Oh, yeah, definitely an outstanding night, though. You mean an outstanding match there. I meant Dirks winning late there, getting Brainerd on the board with a 3-0 victory, kind of setting the tone the way the last one went. We'll see what happens how Minnewaska area responds to that loss. As it'll be Kate Ostrowski at 9-5 getting ready to hit the mat.
Yeah, Kate Ostrowski for Brainerd Pillager against Jace Kavorik, a freshman, who, if we remember back to the last match, looked really tough, like really strong. Jason, it was fun to watch him. So let's see what happens. Ostrowski comes in with a 9-5 record for the Warriors, and we already got a chance to see Kavorik, and here goes Ostrowski right with the takedown, 30 seconds into the match, and he's looking like the physical wrestler. So some good, fun matches. I hope you're enjoying this. Thanks to Magnitude Sports, Perham Athletic Department, for letting us do this, and thanks for letting us join in your home tonight and bringing you this live action of Yellow Jacket Wrestling.
And once again, we'll have another match after the conclusion of this one, as Perham will take on Brainerd Pillager in our nightcap here at the Hive.
1 minute remaining in the first period, and some good action there where we thought maybe we would have an arm bar or some sort of series in that, but Kavorik doing a great job of not letting it happen. He always seems to post somewhere, and I noticed that in the first match too, that doesn't allow the big points to happen. So here we are, and it's been a great scramble. It's been like, there's a point. There's a point for Jace Kavorik there as he gets the escape. Both wrestlers on their feet with 30 seconds, and it seems like it has been about a 2-minute scramble here watching both of these wrestlers. And just like that, Kavorik shoots in, thought I had the double, went to the single, sets him down, no points awarded yet. Ostrowski's takes the takedown and almost looked like he had him in a bad spot there, but there's only 10 seconds remaining, looking for back points, but I think they're so tied up. No counting happening yet. There's a count, so we only got one. We have a little fan reaction to that, thinking there should have been a bigger count happening, and that's kind of what's fun about high school athletics. There's a lot tied into it. So 4-1 lead for Ostrowski right now over Kavorik. Kavorik goes down in the second period, and it's 4-1. So some good work by Ostrowski, and Brainerd's looking really tough to start this match out, Jason.
I'd say I'm impressed so far here with the younger weights, or the lower weights, I should say, of this Brainerd team. Very strong. We talked about the strength of Minnewaska area earlier today, but now strength and lankiness to this Brainerd squad.
Yep, and by the looks of it, they're going to want to get some points and some bonus points. Brainerd down here lower because they're kind of in the heart of their order experience-wise. That doesn't mean to say somebody can't win one later on, but you're definitely looking at some of their middleweights going, yeah, this is where they want to make points. And Ostrowski's working really hard to get some bonus points here, but he just can't quite seem to get the points happening here. As Jace Kavorik does a great job of staying off of his back right now, and just when you think the points are going to happen, he somehow gets to his base. So good, gritty toughness there.
Well, that's something we touched on. You kind of feel like you're down 12-0 with Swala and Meyer winning the wings, so you want to try to get those bonus points as much as you can, and a nice reversal there.
And now, we're switching over, aren't we, Jason? Oh, man, there's craziness there. Sorry to interrupt you there, Jason. That's probably the first time we've kind of stepped on each other. We were both so excited about that move.
Well, it's amazing how much the momentum just turns just like that from a 4-1 to now a 5-4 deficit if you're a Brainerd Pillager Warrior fan.
15 seconds remaining, and we're kind of all balled up here, and both wrestlers obviously want to make a move for their team. 5 seconds, it's going to look like it's pretty tough, but great job there by Jace Kavorik, taking a deficit and turning it into a 1-point lead going into the third. And now you would think Ostrowski's probably maybe second-guessing himself a little bit.
I think we're going to have a few more fireworks coming up in this third period, and I definitely don't think 5-4 is your final.
That is a pretty good prediction, I would think.
I'm going for the low-hanging fruit on that one.
Yeah, I like that one. I think you hit it out of the ballpark. So a quick shot in quick shot in there by Jace Gavorik, but here comes Ostrowski trying to get around, and it's looking pretty good. If he can get his arm in there and grab that back ankle, here he comes. Oh, he's going to try to take him right to his back. There's the 2-point reversal, head in the side. He's looking for more. And again, now we're in the opposite side of where we were. We kind of got now we got back points happening. And this is going to stretch that lead just a little bit. And he's trying for the fall. He's repositioning himself really nicely. Jace Kavorik is doing a great job of kind of just keeping himself off the mat. And there's a great job. But there's those 3 points awarded, which makes it 9-5. And I just have a feeling that Kate Ostrowski doesn't feel too safe yet. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more, like you said, those fireworks happening as we get going. So Kate Ostrowski on top, 9-5. And has a good ride in on Jace Kavorik. So as Jace Kavorik is, it seems like now maybe had this wind taken out of his sails just a tiny bit there with that last flurry by Cade Ostrowski.
Well, it's amazing the momentum that Ostrowski had going into, Kavorik had going into this period, and then Ostrowski with a nice move there, and then getting into the near fall to make it 9-5, and looks like he's going to close into a big victory here for the Warriors.
Right, and the Warriors got to, every victory after watching Minnewaska, every victory you can get and every point that you can get shortens up this match, so to speak. So a 9-5 victory for Kate Ostrowski over Jace Kavorik makes it 6-0 in favor of the Brainerd Pillager Warriors heading in to 120.
At 120 pounds from Minnewaska, 8th grader Chase Smith.
For the Lakers, we have an 8th grader, Chase Smith, and Chase was another one who looked strong in the first one, but as I say that, Isaiah German, a 10th grader, gets the takedown and is getting back points right away. So again, as physical as we saw Minnewaska come out, it almost seems like the tide has turned here a little bit, and we're looking at back points and a 5-0 score with 30 seconds to go, just 30 seconds off the clock.
And German comes with that record of 5-9 this year, but 31-16 last year, so it looks like he's just starting to get ready to hit his stride.
Right, and it might be one of those like we talked about in our case of the Perm Yellow Jackets, that Gareth Covington always seems to draw that tough wrestler. It could be the same case for Isaiah German here, as he's looking really tough on a kid, Chase Smith, who is an 8th grader, who looked really tough in the first match. So it just keeps getting better and better. 1 minute remains on the clock. We're looking for a fall situation here, and it's got to be getting close, and there it is. So a quick fall at about 1:06 for Isaiah German puts that score up to 12-0, and there's those bonus points. We got 3 and 3, and now you double that real quickly when you get that pinfall, and it leads us into 126, who I believe is coming out. Will be Mason Schiffler, a freshman for the Lakers, and Elijah German, a freshman for the Warriors. So freshman versus freshman here. Schiffler had a 16-26 record last year, finished 5th in the section, and Elijah German is 6-7 on this young year and was 17-24. So maybe similar records last year, depending on where it all laid out, but maybe a really good match in store for us here, Jason.
I think it's going to be another one of those like we talked about, and I've hit on this a lot in the broadcast. We talked Minnewaska area almost being up 12-0, but now that's erased. But a nice takedown there.
Right, and it's one of those where I think you're always looking. You never want the run to be too long or too big. It doesn't matter who it is. You're looking for somebody to stop it. And in this case, they're hoping it's Mason Schiffler that will fit the bill for him here. So 2-0, but there's the escape for Elijah German, and it's 2-1. 45 seconds remaining on your score clock, and the height advantage is definitely in favor of Mason Schiffler in this one. I had to look down twice to see, and he was bent over and is quite a bit taller. So we'll see. Length doesn't always play a factor, but it certainly can as we get going. But impressed with Elijah German's in and out activity. But as soon as I say that, Schiffler goes in on a double. And now Schiffler's working short time, 5 seconds remaining, and he is looking at a 4-1 lead going into the second. It's German's choice, and he does not defer, which is kind of a first for tonight. It seems like everybody's almost deferred. He says, I'll take down. So definitely wanting to get his points right away. Here's a tough situation for Schiffler, but he stays really good and sucks back in and gets back into better position. But German definitely looks like he's ready to get his way out of here. So I would think we'll get a quick stand-up and try to get out, and he did try to stand up, but nice job by Schiffler bringing him back down to the mat and now kind of trapping that arm. So you'd think German would want that arm back, and it looks like he's working his way towards that. Schiffler with the 4-1 lead here. German on the bottom, and here he comes out. He gets his one, and now it looks at a reshot, trying to get tie this match up. But as soon as he does that, Schiffler leans right back in and just kind of says, you know what, you gave me a little opening, and he put him back down on the mat and now leads 6-2 with a minute remaining. So good effort by both wrestlers there.
I'm definitely impressed with Schiffler right now. He's kind of been the one that says, you know what, I'm going to stop this run that Brainerd's on. He's wrestling a very good opponent here in Elijah German, but Schiffler just definitely been the aggressor, it seems like, in this match.
Yeah, pretty impressive and the aggressiveness we saw in the first matches for them, we're seeing out of Schiffler again. So again, it kind of proves for you young wrestlers out there that you don't always have to be the experienced veteran to be the one who has the stop. You can be a underclassman and also play a big role in stopping that scoring spread. So good job by Schiffler in this case doing that, and German still working his way up. 15 seconds remain in the second. Looks like we're going to go 6-2 into the third as we'll see whose choice it is. I should have wrote that down, but I didn't. So we will check out and see what's going to happen here. It's Green's choice, and that means that Green is on the score clock is Minnewaska. So Schiffler takes down. Obviously, I guess hoping to get that point and spread that lead to 7-5, and he is going to do that, and he gets more than one. He gets two. So reversal there for Schiffler makes it 8-2, and he cuts him, which means one thing: they're looking for bonus points right here.
Well, and one thing we talked about with this Minnewaska team, when they're in position to get one, more often than not, they're looking to get two. And instead of this, the escape, they're going for the reversal.
Yeah, and I think it ran true almost every match against the Yellow Jackets, and it's starting right up here against the Warriors as well. So definitely something to watch as we watch this Minnewaska team, maybe even into the sections, is do they continue that strategy of always trying to take two? And there goes German with just an overpowering. He got Schiffler off balance and was heading backwards and just kind of land on him for the takedown, which really changes things up. It is now 8-5 with a minute to go, and now 3-point back fall, near fall points, ties this thing up and sends it into extra innings, so to speak.
It was one of those takedowns where Elijah just looked like, you know what, I'm just tired of this. I'm just going to drive you right down to the mat.
Exactly, and Schiffler's doing here's a little chin drop, and Schiffler's doing a good job of staying and moving, but German is really trying to drive the bus here, and he's going from one move to the next, trying cross-face cradle, getting the arms, and to his credit, Schiffler knows that he has the lead. So stall call here. He's probably not getting many, and he's probably not getting 2 or 3 or 4 of them. So he's in good shape that way. But about 10 seconds remaining. A great job by Elijah German here to make this really a close match, and it's going to end up 8-5 in favor of Schiffler, and that'll take our score to 12-3 in favor of the Warriors of Brainerd Pillager.
Well, one of the things we talked about there, Elijah German did a nice job. We talk about sometimes a loss being a win. That might be the one, because the Lakers were definitely looking for bonus points the way they were trying to go with that strategy, and it ended up not working. And a nice job by Elijah German.
And if it plays out, this should be the meat of the heart of the order for Brainerd Pillager Warriors. If it's Kyle, let's just get the announcement first. They're kind of doing some changes here, it looks like, at the head table. So we'll try to get the right names to you too. Maybe.
132 pounds, wrestling for Minnewaska, junior Jacob Blair. And from Brainerd, a senior, Kyle Eschenbacher.
Okay, so it is Kyle Eschenbacher, and Kyle Eschenbacher is a senior. He comes in with a record of 14-0, 35-9 last year, third in the section, and built young man, and he is working right now to get that takedown. But again, he's wrestling Jacob Blair from Minnewaska area Lakers, and Blair had a tendency to do this and stay out of harm's way in the last match too. So let's see what happens here. But Eschenbacher is definitely the start to kind of that run for Brainerd, and let's see what happens on the scoreboard. And they know they're probably going to need some bonus points out of these guys if they're expecting to hold off when you get to the Tyson Meyer and Jacob Swala at the end. So 2-0 and working on that arm, and Jacob Blair's doing a good job trying to stay out of it, but man, he's got this tight, and he ends up on his back, and now the squirming, it's sometimes, and Jacob's coming out of it. So good work and not giving up there. And we do have some points. We've got 3 back points, but Blair's going to get his escape, so 5-1, and a great job because it looked like it was tight and getting tighter, and Blair somehow found his way out of there. The Brainerd Pillager coaches are kind of urging on Kyle to do his stuff and get after it a little bit, and Jacob Blair, who also was 41-9 last year and third in the section. So this is not like we're taking on somebody who hasn't been on the mat. This is one of those matchups that are really good. Blair's choice, he defers. Eschenbacher says, I'm taking down. 5-0, and we'll change that right away to 6-1 in favor of Eschenbacher, and they go right back to work. Blair goes kind of up in a tie-up, kind of a pull type situation. Nice shot to kind of get Blair off balance there by Eschenbacher. And headgear's off, so nobody had position or a pin position. So we'll start back up here after Eschenbacher. Kyle Eschenbacher gets his headgear back in place. Minute 39 on the clock, 5-1 lead. 12-3 on our scoreboard in favor of Brainerd Pillager, and it's been a great start. Maybe not one that I expected, but still a great start, Jason.
Oh, it definitely is, and this has been some exciting matches between the Lakers and the Warriors here. Expect to see many more exciting ones, but like you said, this is the part of the lineup where Brainerd Pillager likes to make a move.
Yeah, we've got Kyle Eschenbacher at 32. If they stay how they're planned, at 38 will be Isaiah Gilson, who's 14-0 and returning state entrant. Then they go to Gabe Wagner, who's 13-1, ranked 8th in 3A. And so this is definitely with Eschenbacher. You got 4 in the German, Isaiah and Elijah. And you can go right down the line. Ostrowski and Dirks, they're pretty formidable at that lower weights, and we'll see what happens and if there's a spread and what happens as we get to the higher weights when the record's not quite as good for Brainerd Pillager. We're in the second period. 55 seconds remain. No real action, no scoring action, I should say. The wrestlers are definitely getting after each other, but just no scoring at that point, and that's happens sometimes. A lot of action and no scoring when you have two veteran good wrestlers on the mat. .30 seconds remain. It's still 5-1. Both wrestlers have both taken shots. We'll see kind of what Jason and I have noted in the past, that you get down to that last 10 seconds and it seems like somebody tries to make a move and tries to take a shot. In this case, my guess would be that we were probably talking about the Minnewaska wrestler because he's behind. But just as he does shoot in, it looks like we're going to hold on and not give up any points and go 5-1 in favor of Eichenbacher. So 5-1 in favor of Eichenbacher. And it is Blair's choice, and Blair chooses down. Now again, we'll see what strategy happens here, but as we look 6-1, sorry, I said 5-1, 6-1 score. Will he cut him, try to get bonus points? Will he ride him out? Some of the questions we look at going into the third period.
Well, especially in this dual type situation, you're trying to pick up those extra points, and when you can get them, I wouldn't be surprised. We're going to see some fireworks, I think, here, Lance. I'm just going to make a call. It's going to be an exciting finish here.
First one of the night, folks, so I'm ready for it. But we kind of get our initial answered as Eichenbauer doesn't let him up right away and goes into a takedown situation. He's definitely working, kind of trying to pull that arm over through and over and roll him in. Roll him to his back, but a great job there by Jacob Blair not going. So we'll see what happens here. Blair's head's been down kind of on the mat for a while, so we'll see if we get a chance at a stall call. We haven't had any tonight, so might just be the referee or we've really had good action, one of the two. But maybe looking for a tilt, and then he kind of changes his pattern here, but not much real happening with 1 minute remaining, and 5-1 lead. So I would be thinking Eichenbacher's thinking bonus points here and trying to work his way to some back points. But even 3 is not going to get him there. So we got to start the action now if it's going to happen. Both wrestlers working. Blair trying to get up to his base. Eichenbauer's is heavy on the shoulders, not really giving him much to go to. But Blair's just kind of defending it. His offense is kind of his defense right now, and Eichenbauer is still working stuff, but nothing's really connecting right now. So 15 seconds remaining. 5-1. If it continues the way it's going, it looks like it'll be a 5-1 win for Eichenbauer, which will put him at 15-0 on the year. And again, one of those where Jacob Blair's a nice wrestler. Probably another win for the Lakers, so to speak. Puts our score at a 15-3 in favor of the Brainerd Pillager Warriors as we head into 138, excuse me. I'm just a little faster than the score clock keepers tonight, I guess, Jason. So Jacob Lean out for Minnewaska. And this is Isaiah Gilson for the Brainerd Pillager Warriors. And I hardly got his name out, and he's already got a takedown. And he is looking for more. Gilson, like I said, the returning state entrant, 14-0 to start this season, along with his teammate Kyle Eichenbacher. And kind of we talked about Rob Mosier always said a lot of good wrestlers come in pairs. And so you start to see some of those things happening here. So Gilson with a 2-0 lead over Jacob Lean, a junior for Minnewaska area.
And Lean was another one of those impressive wrestlers that we saw in the victory over Perham earlier tonight. So this Brainerd squad is very impressive so far.
Yeah, and it's been fun to watch, and it's one of those that it's not really loud in here, but you can tell people are really involved. You're just kind of sitting, and it's that intense, and I catch myself staring once in a while and go, oh yeah, I got to be broadcasting this, but it's so fun to watch and to see what they're trying to do. So 50 seconds remain, still a 2-0 score for Isaiah Gilson, 10th grader. It's pretty impressive. So as a 9th grader, he was 29-15, section runner-up in 8-3A, and returning state entrance. So definitely gained some valuable experience there for sure coming into this year as he started out with the undefeated record. So still 2-0. There's the first stall. I called it last one but didn't get it. So and just like that, Jacob Lean just says, okay, let's go, and he starts rolling and making all kinds of moves. So good job by Jacob Lean after that stall warning to start his movement. And for those of you at home that are maybe new to wrestling, your first stall is just that. It's just a warning. And it's kind of telling you, hey, the official expects a little bit more out of you. At the second stall call, it's a point given up. So definitely no more stall calls for Jacob Lean unless he's trying to save his team a point at the end of this match. Second period starts. We have Gilson up 2-0, and he's on bottom here and trying. He's got the leg trapped underneath. So let's see if he tries to get that leg up and get the reversal and kind of turn the tides on what the Lakers have wanted to do all night long and getting 2 instead of 1. So Jacob's holding on pretty tight and allows Gilson to go, I don't think I'm getting it. So now he's back to his tripod and out. So 3-0. And right back on his offense is Gilson. And just like that, it's 5-0. He cuts Lean. It's 5-1. And I kind of get that feeling that Gilson's done playing around. And there's another one. So I'm not going to call them all out. You can see them at home. We'll watch as they go and kind of give you some action. But Gilson really quick on his feet, a good athlete, you can tell, and quickly makes it a 9-2 lead, and he's not settled with 52nd remaining. And Lean, to his credit, keeps coming forward, but it kind of ends up in the same. So my guess is here, unless we get into some sort of pinning move, Gilson is heading his way to that tech fall and giving some more bonus points for the Brainerd Pillager Warriors, who with 5 more would start to stretch this lead out a little bit, Jason.
Well, yeah, just what they want to do is try to get those bonus points here, continue to attack, and we've talked about it throughout. Is given you want to avoid as much as possible is giving up those bonus points.
13-4 now in favor of Gilson, and he looks like he's got the armbar in, so he is not settling here. Let's see what happens. He rolls him over. Lean's got 10 seconds to stay off his back. He's going to definitely give up 3 more, which will make it a 12-point lead, but he cannot hold on. So with 5 seconds remaining, there's your pin for Gilson, and just kind of like we said, right here in the middle of the lineup is where they want to make some hay, I think. So 21-3, leading up to their 8th ranked wrestler, Gabe Wagner, at 145.
Wagner comes in at 13-1. He was 36-8 last year.
At 145 pounds, for Minnewaska junior, Caden Kozel.
That'd be Caden Kozel for Minnewaska area, but a quick takedown already, and just like that, Brainerd is working again.
And I would guess that Brainerd's not going to be satisfied for 3 here. This is not that it's the end of the run, but they definitely have wrestlers with not quite the record that we're seeing right now. So my guess is they're up 27-3, and knowing that, maybe giving up 12 at the end, we'll see what happens. But this could go right down to the wire, and you got to be impressed with Brainerd Pillager coming on over and seeing what happened with the Yellow Jackets and the Lakers, and kind of turning the tide here for just so to speak, with the Lakers.
Well, and if you think we might have to star that match that just happened because that pin could be huge to see how much that ends up playing out here towards the end of this match.
Right, that's for sure. And in this case, Caden Kozel, you don't want to say it, but his job is right now to stay off his back. And anything less than giving up 6 points right now is probably a victory, and you'll probably see his teammates really cheer for him in that situation. We have a full Nelson happen there, so that is a 1-point penalty point, which gives Caden Kozel a 1 point for the penalty, and Wagner says let's go both up. So now we're tied 2-2 in a match where Wagner goes into the fireman's, dumps him over, looking right to his back. That's a nice series of moves. He had him pretty tight there for a while, but great. Here we're back to it again. Let's see, we got 15 seconds left. Pretty heavy on the chest. It looks like we're close to a fall situation, but Kozel's doing a great job of kind of just twisting his body maybe the way it shouldn't go, and you can probably see his facial expression on the screen. That wasn't the place that he wanted to be, but some more bonus points there for Gabe Wagner. Leads 7-2, and we'll go into the second, and Wagner takes down. Wagner right up to the stand position. Looks like he'll be out shortly. This Wagner's a nice looking athlete too, Jason. Just watching his foot quickness and how he's built, and he's pretty smooth. So escape, takedown, back points, but he's looking for the pin here, and so he's tightening it up. And like I said, some of those times you hate to be there, but Caden Kozel is just trying to stay out of the pinfall right now. So a long time to wait, a lot of heavy pressure. 3 more points are sitting there waiting for him, so it's 13-2 right now. But I don't think he's worried about that. He is just worried about one thing, and that is shoulders on the mat and 6 points for the Warriors. What a battle here for Caden Kozel. I've never wrestled, so I can't imagine the amount of toughness it takes to be there. But in the end, Gabe Wagner's just a little too much for him, and that's kind of what we thought that Brainerd Pillager would want to do there. And then there's the score, 27-3. So now let's see how this rides out. There's probably going to be a couple key matches in here. I haven't quite picked them out yet. I'm trying to kind of look at how the matchup's going to happen. Strategies coming into play for both coaching staffs here of where they can bounce kids and where they're going to end up.
152 pounds from Minnewaska, freshman Nathan Bell. For Brainerd, senior Jaden Petrie.
So for Brainerd, this is a senior. Jaden Petrie is 3-7 on the year. He did have a record last year for the Warriors. He was 14-26, placed 5th in the section. And again, this is somebody I don't have on my list. Is this Nathan Bell?
Nathan Dell.
Dell. Okay. Same thing happened to us in the last one. I probably should have wrote the name down. So if you forgive me for that. But here comes Brainerd Pillager again. Jaden Petrie locks up the cradle. Dell's doing a great job of posting his leg and his arm and not happening. But there's a minute 20, folks, so I think some patience are going to happen here and keep working on that position. And there he's tightening up, and he's pulling the suicide cradle over the top, and it did work this time. We saw that backfire one time last week, but here we're getting back points and definitely looking for the fall, trying to hook that leg up if he can hook that leg. But great job by Mr. Dell from the Lakers to get out of that. But now he's down 5-0 with 55 seconds remaining. Kind of an interesting 3-7 for Jaden Petrie. He's a strong-looking kid. So definitely probably faced some tough hombres, and here he's pulling him back, and that should probably be back points, and there he goes. And for Minnewaska, they've been in this position all too often in the last few bouts. So this is maybe one I didn't see happening this way, but squeezing it tight. We're looking for the fall. the more someone squeezes it, to me it always seems like it would be quicksand. The more you squeeze, the tighter it gets, and there's the fall. So, boy, I wasn't expecting that, Jason. And now it's 33-3, so the move has to happen for Minnewaska pretty soon here.
Yeah, I can tell you what, I did not anticipate this. I was just decided to take a quick look and see who some of the common opponents that this Brainerd Pillager team has faced, and they face some teams that we're used to normally seeing when you talk about Foley, Fergus Falls, and Bemidji, and now they're coming out here with the 33-3 lead. Or Dalton Fredericks going for
a junior, Dalton Fredericks for the Lakers, and Ben Bolberg, senior, 5-7, is out there for the Brainerd Pillager Warriors. And I'm almost thinking this is the key match of the meet here, Jason. Another win by Brainerd, and that lead is starting to look pretty insurmountable no matter how many hammers you have at the end of the lineup. But this will lead us at 160. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches left. So 30 points. So this is it. Boy, my math is on tonight.
I was just starting to add it up, and you got to me. So,
but just as we say that, not a saving move, but a move that kind of lets Minnewaska go for a minute and take a deep breath as it looked like there was going to be some major fireworks happening there. And here we go again, and it just seems like it's kind of back and forth there. So 2-0 lead, and for Dalton Fredericks, and in a good match in a must-win situation, which I wouldn't have guessed. No offense to if you're listening from Brainerd Pillager, and all hats off to you. Your kids came to wrestle tonight, because when I watched the first match against the Lakers, the Lakers versus the Yellow Jackets, I would have never guessed that this would be the situation.
Well, this might be one of those things that if you're in the Minnewaska area, you're coming off a nice victory, and Brainerd may come at the right time. Also, you have that single A, 3A difference might play a little bit of a role here as well, too.
Exactly, but here was a big move, and now the reversal happened. We're on our back again. 9 seconds remaining. This would do it for the Warriors, and I think this place the kids would erupt if there was a pin. But nice job of getting off your back there. And let's see what the point total is. 3 points. So 3 points for the Warriors, and they lead 6-2 going into the second. And wow, it was instantaneously, Jason, when that roll happened. The whole bench from Brainerd Pillager just got up and were ready to erupt. So you know how huge this is to them. Ben Bolberg up 5-2 heading into the second, and he's in the down position against Dalton Fredericks. Crowd's starting to pick up a little bit here, sense of urgency. Probably for Minnewaska, maybe in a little shock. I hear more of the Brainerd Pillager now getting all excited, and I really think somebody's going to – I don't think this is going to end without somebody getting pinned, Jason.
That's quite the call you're going to go on the limb on making this one.
Hey.
I like it.
It just seems like the way they're in scramble situations that somebody is going to end up in their back. The good thing is I left myself a little leeway. We're only in the second period.
Yeah, you left yourself plenty of time, and you kept it by being pretty safe and not saying boo.
And here we go. Just as we say, here comes a throw. And there's the fall. So just as Brainerd Pillager was starting to really get confident, 6 points come on the board, make it 33-9. Ben Bolberg was in there, but wow. Dalton Fredericks with a huge pin for their team, and just it's what you got to love about the sport of wrestling. Whether you know the sport of wrestling or not, it's those type of situations that make you just go, man, this is a fun sport. We head into 170 now. Ryan Van Leeuwen is a senior, and Gus Wagner, a sophomore, for the Brainerd Pillager Warriors. So again, you would say, okay, this is probably advantage to Van Leeuwenhoek and to the Lakers, but man, the way this has gone tonight, I think I made my one.
Make one or two in the way this is going. This has been an exciting one.
It has. It's just been anybody's match, and Van Leeuwenhoek with the takedown there, and he had a nice match against Hudson Hackle from the Perham Yellow Jackets, and looked pretty tough. So I know Gus Wagner's been around, that Wagner name. I don't know if it's a relation to the Wagner that wrestled for the Warriors at 145, but I know Gus's name's been around at the NYWA state tournaments and tournaments, so he's no stranger to being on the mat. But right now he is trailing 2-0 to Van Leeuwenhoek, and senior versus sophomore. It's kind of fun to watch as both teams are. I think there's an unsuredness right now, if that's a word, unsuredness right now of not knowing what's happening here, because I don't think either team thought they would really be in this position at this point. So I think that made that last match, when it looked like Ben Boberg was going to take the match and was ahead, all of a sudden, boom, there's another throw, and now we're like, ooh, now what's happening? So 2-1 as Wagner escapes, and a nice escape with only about 2-3 seconds left on the clock.
That's going to make things really interesting going into the upper weights and what could lay ahead with Minnewaska area and what they have. This could go down to the wire.
Yeah, you start doing math, but there's just too many variables in there. It's 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, 6 points. Number of matches left, and then even when you think you have something figured out, it's like the last match, and the pin turns, and and here we go again. So heavy duty fireworks, and there's another pin. So the Lakers coming through here get another pin and tighten up the score to 33-16, and we know probably who's coming next. So let's see what happens. Tyson Meyer from Minnewaska. And Damian Bentho? Did I catch that right?
You caught that correctly.
Damian Bentho, a sophomore, 6-8 on the season, 17-29 or 24 last year, fourth in the section. But an interesting night for Damian Bentho, as he's going to take on Tyson Meyer, the number 1 rated wrestler in 1A according to the Guillotine, and a good reason why is he's a 2-time state champion, 46-1 last year, and I know he had one victory tonight against Brian Ramos from Perham, who was 10th in 2A and was undefeated up to that point. So might be a tough night for Damian Bentho, but tonight I'm not going to say anything until we know what's going on.
Well, we know Meyer's kind of thinking one thing right now. He's got to find a way to get Bentho on his back and get that pin to get the 6 points. Not the greatest at math, but I think 6 points here is huge. That's just the understatement of the night.
Good call. I'll give you that one. So, obviously, you can do the math at home, too, but 33-21 certainly makes this, and here we go. And there it is. And so I was kind of waiting for my partner, Jason, to make a call for a pin there, but he didn't make that call. So 33-21 and 12 points, so 2 more pins. And we're going into 195, so 3 classes remaining. So we need a win somewhere out if you're a Warrior fan.
And this looks like it's Dylan Kupski for Minnewaska area. And this is Shane Carlson, an 8th grader, in a very big spot for the Warriors.
And this is not your normal 8th grader, I don't think, out here. He's a pretty well-built young man, but just as we say, there's a takedown. And Shane Carlson is 10-4 on the season, and he looks like he's ready to go. And I kind of like that when you sprint back to the center, whether you get out or not, it kind of shows that opponent, hey, I'm going to be here for this full 6 minutes. So
and there he goes. He gets his 1 point, gets his escape.
Oh, and a little headlock throw try there, but they were both out of bounds. So minute 12 seconds remaining, 2-1, and the tension's definitely building here as we get going, because you know that waiting in the wings for the Lakers is the number 2 rated wrestler in the state of Minnesota at 285, Jacob Swalla, and we just saw how strong a young man he was against the Yellow Jackets not long ago here.
And you don't want to look too far ahead. Also, you have Nate Rankin, who was another strong kid that they had at 220, so this is going to be a very interesting final 3 matches.
It is, and you think of how close Brainerd was there to sealing up the match and not having to worry about any of these 3. Selfishly, it's fun to watch when it goes down to the wire. So we'll see what happens here, and it was still 2-1, 24 seconds remain, and it's getting one of those things, Jason, that we talked about was a little bit different with the COVID. It used to be the loudest part of the match right now. Now it gets deathly quiet when it gets to that part where we know it's kind of do or die.
Well, it's definitely noticed that this year, and you can see the tense. It's a little more tense amongst the crowd, so they're tensing up at the edge of their seat, not really saying too much. I think it's going to change here at the start of the second period, though.
It's always interesting for me, Jason, as I look around, I always try to pick out the parents, because I knew when my boys are wrestling, everybody knows that I'm the dad, because I'm pacing and moving and on the edge, and I try not to yell much, but there's definitely a little bit of moving in my body trying to wrestle with them or for them. So it's kind of fun to pick out in the crowd. So 2-1, good ride going here. And this might be the key part of the match. So it's going to be, we're looking for a turn here, Jason. And you could feel that heightened intensity as he's wrapping up, and he tried to lock in the cradle and it didn't quite get there. But here comes the fans. 2-1, 120 left, and this is all you could ask for, and I hope you're enjoying this at home as much as we're enjoying it here. We're trying to build that same excitement that we're watching. Don't know that we always do it justice, but man, it is fun. Every coach is up right now for Brainerd. Pillager, and here comes the power half, and great job by both wrestlers. One tries the offense, the other defends it, and we're down to 50 seconds. And what a great ride out here. But I don't think he's going to be satisfied with the great ride out. He's definitely looking for some back points. Fun to watch as the Brainerd Pillager coaches are up Matt's side. All of a sudden you had 2 kids up. Then it was 3 kids. Now it's 6 kids. Now they're yelling and the fans are starting to get up and enjoy themselves. So 25 seconds remaining. What a ride here by Shane Carlson. Like I said, 8th grader, but man, is not carrying himself on the mat like an 8th grader. And here we go, 10 seconds, and these would be huge back points if he can get them. And it's 5 seconds, and it slides back out. So we had some action there. So it's going to go 2-1 total period ride out there for Shane Carlson. And he says, I'm going down. And here comes our crowd, Jason.
Yeah, they're definitely into this one. They know the importance of this match right now.
So obviously that escape ties that. I don't need to tell you that at home, but I think you'll hear some cheering as soon as that escape happens. Hasn't been awarded yet. Let's see what happens. There might be 2 again instead of 1, and there it is. There's the 2. There's the fans, and it's 3-2, a minute 30, and it looked a little bit like the Lakers wrestler wasn't really feeling that great with his arm situation after the second period. So let's see what happens as Shane Carlson, 10-4 on the season, he's looking for back points here, Jason.
He was close in that second period, and he's getting closer here in the third. And That would be huge for him to lock this up that way.
And there it comes to back points, and he's got him flat, and there's the pin, and every kid was up. That's the joys of high school athletics, is to watch them support their teammate. And you feel for the Lakers right now, but you also sense the joy in the Warriors coming out here. So that makes our score 39-21 as we head to 2:20. And like you said, there was two really tough kids here, but it's not going to matter now, Jason.
So it's Forrest Gibson for Brainerd against Nate Rankin, a Minnewaska area here at 2:20.
Forrest Gibson comes in 4-0, so one of those, Jason, you kind of called it against Grand Rapids, that a kid didn't have as many matches. Maybe he's out injured or whatever. 4-0 on the season, 27-11 last year, and finished 5th. So, and he's right in on a single, and you kind of wonder, too, with Rankin, knowing that there's not a chance, how it changes his demeanor now and what he's going to do on the mat. Nate Rankin is a junior, 17-7 last year, 3rd in sections. Another tough customer. So this is hats off to the Warriors right now, I have to say, because if I was making the ultimate prediction, this probably wouldn't have been the score I was going to choose.
Well, and this is one of the unique things now that we see about this team yet individual sport, because now if you're Nate Rankin, you got to go out and wrestle for. Now you're wrestling for yourself here, because this might be potential section seeding down the line if you get a big win here against a 3A opponent. And
exactly. And here we go back to Forrest Gibson. He throws in the armbar, and they're not only looking for, they're looking for more, Jason. So, and you go back into the Yellow Jackets are warming up and kind of watching, going, ooh, we weren't maybe expecting this. Now they got to kind of re-grasp themselves, and here we've got another tight. We're getting back points, 25 seconds remaining. But here's a quick reversal, and we're out of bounds. So we had all kinds of scoring there, and I believe it's going to be 5-2. 5-2 in favor of Forrest Gibson, who is now down, not down in the match, but down in the down position with 20 seconds remaining. And I'm guessing he wants to get at least one of those points back and makes it 6-2 going into the second period. And again, you just get that feeling that this thing isn't over yet. 4 seconds remaining, and it looks like we'll go in to the second period with a 5-2 lead for Forrest Gibson over Nate Rankin. We choose neutral position. So the Brainerd wrestler, Forrest Gibson, chooses the neutral position, and he seems very comfortable on his feet, and Rankin is not too far behind him. So let's see what happens here, and I don't think this one's going to end up 5-2 either, Jason. So let's just enjoy this match, and we look forward to watching Jacob Swala again, is number 2 ranked wrestler in the state coming up for Minnewaska. So these are two pretty well-built young men. Sometimes 220 isn't full 220, and I believe it's full 220 for these kids. They look like they're ready to go on a good single. He's going to try to bring it up. Nice job. Nice job by Rankin there, throwing the whizzer in. He's trying to whizzer hard. Gibson kind of repositions himself. Oh, now we're in double unders. And there goes Rankin, and he ends up with putting Gibson on his back and pins him. So, again, man, those tables can turn fast, and you realize how big some of those matches were, as now it's 39-27 going into the final match at 285, and you think about going back into the 106 match, or you go back into how important those 3-point wins are.
Well, we touched on it. Those bonus points earlier, those big moments and a couple of turns here and there kind of changed the tide of everything in this duel, and it's been an exciting one. Brainerd able to come away with a nice victory. Now this is a good match to look forward to here with Jacob Swala here at 285.
right? And he's wrestling from the Warriors, Cole Larkin, I believe they said. And he's 6-8 on the season, 12-18 last year, 6th in the section. So he's been around for a couple years in wrestling. And Jacob Swala's resume speaks for itself. 30-4 last year, number 2 ranked wrestler by the Guillotine this year, and had kind of the tough luck story maybe a little bit. I didn't see it, but just going through the brackets from last year, he was the section champ, lost 3-1 in overtime to the state runner-up in one of the first rounds of the state tournament. So he probably is on a one-way course to wanting to be back there and change that up. And I know this week we heard, Jason, that there's some changes in the state tournament and the way it looks and the way it's going to be formatted.
But at least the good thing is we could say there is going to be a state tournament.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the exciting thing.
That is exactly. I've heard some different things. I don't want to throw out things that I don't know are true or for sure. So I would be reading your sports sections and looking at those different places to try to get your information, get out to the Guillotine, take a peek at that, and find out what's happening. So
local Star Tribune today, I know, had statewide had a nice little article on it, so definitely check them out. They talked and had it spread out as the front page of the print edition, which I know not too many people get anymore, but every once in a while check out a print edition.
Yeah, that's for sure. Still something about having that newspaper in your hands.
That's the former sports editor and me coming out a little bit there.
2-0 is our score. So another really good match, and at 285. So we have choice goes to Minnewaska, and Swala says maybe it was. I don't think so. I think he tried to make it his decision, and I think it was Brainerd Pillager's decision, and he deferred, and Swala goes down. Quick stand up, spin and turn, and it's 3-0, and we'll see what happens here as we keep going through this match. But it's one of those that it seems like the longer these matches go, certainly more it's going to favor Swala with his experience and his knowledge and his work, his body of work that he's shown us so far. Minute 30 remaining in the second period, 3-0 score, and Lincoln's doing a great job of just kind of not letting Swala get anything started. It seemed like Swala was at his best in the first matches when he kind of got to this type of spot where he got to get you moving, and there's a single leg takedown and a good follow that kind of just makes everybody go like you're going to lose your breath. So that's kind of the power of Swala happening right there. 5-0 lead for him. Spins that arm across the back. Definitely just trying to work on this wrestler, trying to get his shoulders to start rolling. You'll see him kind of maybe get out to the side a little bit. He's got the leg pinned down, so it doesn't really leave him much room to get out. But he's definitely working on that arm. Here he comes out to the side, has that arm bar in, but nice job. Then switches to a power half. So nice chain wrestling there, but great job by Lincoln to work his way out of those situations. So 5-0 with 13 seconds to go.
I don't know how much more I can say. I've been impressed with what Swala's brought to the mat in both matches here tonight. Is he looking strong as he's getting ready for what he's hoping is a big third period? One
of the things that I guess a couple adjectives that I would use for Swala is he seems like he's very patient as he's working, and he's an opportunist. When he's patient until he sees that opportunity, and you don't have to ask him twice. He steps right in and takes what he wants. So escape there makes it 6-0, and quick shot in there, and there's exactly what we're looking at is that quickness. He's got the legs crisscrossed, slips into that power half, and this does not look good for Mr. Lincoln, and there it is. And so like I said, the longer this goes on, the more you got to like Swala's chances, and ends up being 39-33. So valiant effort for the Lakers, just a little too late.
Yeah, it was just one of those tough nights for the Lakers. They finished with a good evening, a 1-1, and your losses to a 3A team who's got a pretty good record. So if you're in the Minnewaska area, I think you come away, yeah, you're a little upset you lost because you are always upset when you end up on a losing side, but you know what, you have a lot of great things you could take away from tonight's duel here.
Exactly. So, and that, I think at this point of the year, you're definitely looking for a couple of things. One, how do your wrestlers react to back-to-back situations, not knowing what the state tournament's going to look like? Are we going to be wrestling back-to-back nights, or what's going to happen? And then also see different competition. I don't know that any of these three teams, I know we've seen Brainerd, the Yellow Jack have seen Brainerd a couple times at the Rick Lee duels, but other than that, it's teams that haven't been on each other's schedule for a while. So, Jason, I think we'll just take a little break here. We'll kind of gather ourselves, kind of recap what we saw, and then we'll start another broadcast starting up to get our nightcap underway when we see those Warriors and see if they can continue with the enthusiasm and the ball rolling for them against the Yellow Jackets.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level of my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
Well, welcome back as we get ready to wrap things up. It's the post-game show. I'm Jason Gross with Lance Rock. We'd like to thank you for tuning in, but for here tonight, fans from Brainerd as well as Minnewaska, we thank you for tuning in. It's been a fun night so far. 2 duels under the belts tonight. Perham dropping the first one in Minnewaska area, and then one that just happened right now. It was the Warriors knocking off Minnewaska area in what was a fun match here. Yeah,
Jason, and I'm sure that Minnewaska fans, maybe if you're listening, are maybe a little disappointed that it didn't go the way you wanted it to go tonight. A couple things that I took away. You can never doubt the effort of the Minnewaska Lakers. They come out to battle. They're going to be a fun team to watch when it comes section time, and I'm just thankful with it happening that I got to see Jacob Swalla, because I'm pretty sure you're going to hear his name at the state tournament. I'm sure you're going to hear Tyson Meyer's name again at the state tournament, and you could hear a plethora of these other guys who really showed their gutsiness and their determination tonight.
I couldn't agree more, Lance, and it was outstanding, and it was a fun match to see. Brainerd, a very impressive team. I think we're, going in, a lot of people thought maybe Brainerd was the one that people were overlooking, I would say. And right now they come out with a nice message to both these teams, like, hey, we just took care of Minnewaska area, the 4th-ranked team in Single A, and now Perham, you're next, is what Brainerd is thinking, and Perham is hoping to rebound from a tough loss and come back here and have a strong showing against the Brainerd Pillager Warriors, which will come up here shortly. We thank you for tuning in. Lance Rock, an outstanding job on match number 2 and as well as match number 1 as we get ready for our 3rd match here tonight.
Thank you, Jason. And
we'll get ready to go and start up a new stream for the final match as Perham gets ready to take on Brainerd Pillager right here on the Magnitude Sports Network.
The proceeding has been a presentation of the Magnitude Sports Media Network. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and to order a DVD copy of this broadcast, simply visit msportsnet.com/DVD.